Hang on, what? It's Hump Day Wednesday with Nayeli and Annie, and we are here at No Name Nutrition with Trent.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for being
Thanks
number
for having
one,
me.
an amazing sponsor. I want to say thank you very much for taking a gamble on us. And he's like, holy crap, we're doing this. I'm going to be a sponsor for this Hang On What podcast. And I want to say thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And we are just very proud because, number one, I love both of your locations. And there's so much knowledge. You're like an encyclopedia for health.
47 years my family's been at, a long time.
Long time.
Yes.
And so I feel like if there's something that somebody's going through, whether it be cancer, hair loss, weight loss, whatever it is, you're like their local doctor. You're their natural local doctor. So I just want to welcome you to Hang On What and say thank you. And we just want to get the backstory on you, your
Sure.
locations, what started it, who started it, all the things, the crazy
Yep.
stories. But most importantly, thank you for sponsoring Hang On What. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we want you guys to support them because they're supporting us. And when you shop here, you shop local and you're supporting them. So it's very huge for us. So when you're ready.
My name is Trent Hurley. We've been in the business now for 47 years. I was 5 when we got into it. Back then I had 20 or 30 open bloody canker sores and cold sores, and the doctors recommended aspirin and popsicles and almost killed me as a child. I had ulcers, or cold sores, canker sores in the mouth, and their answer was aspirin and popsicles, and it almost killed me. It tore ulcers
Wow.
all up and down the esophagus and stomach, and on a whim my mom happened to stop by the health food store, and the owner at the time happened to be there and put me on a probiotic and lysine and changed my diet and cleared them up in about 2 weeks. Mom was so impressed she would quit her job as a secretary, started working there, and we eventually bought them out about 8 to 9 months later. So it
Wow.
sure changed my life. At the time, my father owned 3 gas stations, Lenz Davidson Abco downtown, and when Mom got busy enough, she finally said, hey, why don't you sell those? You're tired of working outside and come work with me. And he eventually did and sold the gas stations, came to work with my mom.
Was this all in Omaha?
All in Omaha,
Where-
72nd and Blondo. Yeah.
Oh, was that the original location?
Yes, yeah. It used to be at
Wow.
1914 North 72nd, just south of Blondo, and now we're at 2032 North 72nd, just north of Blondo.
Awesome. That is so,
Yeah.
so is that building still there, your original?
Nope, Burger King stands there now. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? Health food store to fast food, but it's still there.
Oh my gosh, that
Yep.
is crazy.
Yeah.
So then, how many years ago was that?
47.
47 years ago. And then they had the one location, relocated it to where it is now.
Yep.
How many years was it there before you opened this location?
We opened up this store here in 1987. We were here before Oakview Mall was. So
Wow,
quite
so
a few.
You were here before it was like booming.
We
Like,
were,
you were like,
we remember
this is crazy.
$25, $50 days out here. People come in, walk around, buy a can of pop, maybe a candy bar, a natural candy bar, and walk out. We're thinking, what are we doing here?
When they would think you're crazy because,
And yes.
like, sugar's fine. You can have all these things.
Oh, of
like,
course,
yeah,
yes.
you're the weirdo.
Yep.
And now, who's the weirdo?
I was
Yeah.
the one growing up in high school or in grade school and high school with the brown paper sack, with the brown the brown
The
whole
only
wheat
one.
bread. One of the few. My brother and I were. And back in the day, I said, I will never do this. I do not like it. And I would trade my sandwich off on the buses
Aw.
to and from. So I didn't want to be the weird kid with the whole wheat bread.
Who traded you for that, though? Come on. Did
Well,
anybody
usually
really
I had
trade
to
you?
buffer it with some other stuff, but yeah. Yep, not very often. Usually I'd end up throwing it away or eat it every now and then if I
'Cause
really
you
got
were- You're
hungry.
hungry. You're like, I gotta
Yep.
eat something.
Yep.
That is
So,
hilarious.
yep.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
So your mom and dad started it, then
Yep.
your brother and you got
Yep.
to a certain age.
My brother and I, when Mom and Dad first had the store, they were so broke they couldn't afford a babysitter. So a lot of times we would actually, on Friday, Saturday nights, we would have to come over to the stores, and all day Saturdays when we didn't have a babysitter, we would come over and start working in the store. So 5, 6 years old, I'd be in the back room bagging, cleaning, playing around.
Right.
Rich McGordman used to be behind our old store. We'd go back there and hang out and hike around and just fool around. And got to know the stores pretty well that way.
That's crazy.
Yep. And it's changed a lot over the years. Back when my brother went away to college, or actually before he got his driver's license, he would wait for me to get out of school, and then we'd drive over and start working at the stores.
Wow.
So
So was your first job? Has it been your only job?
no, I've done a lot of other jobs. A lot of mowing lawns, a lot of working hard. Mom and Dad had a place down Lake of the Ozarks, and I grew up mowing lawns, waiting tables, lifeguarding. The
always doing
funnest job,
something.
funnest job is probably cooking Mexican food and pumping gas on a dock down Lake of the Ozarks.
Oh,
So,
wow. Too fun.
Yep.
Too fun.
Yep, a lot of fun. lot of
So
history.
your brother, so at one point in time, your mom and dad were like, okay, you guys take this over. Like, it's too much.
Yep.
Did he run one store and you ran one store?
Yes, we did. He graduated in 91 from Northwest Missouri State in Maryville, and I was 93. He started working full-time in the stores. He and I both come back on weekends to come up and help Mom and Dad work
Right.
at the stores.
Yeah.
So when he graduated, he was full-time at the store on 72nd and Blondo, and then I was here a lot working at this store trying to help develop it. And then I would finally come back and finally started working here full-time. And it's kind of funny. I'm the,
You're the only
cynical
one.
Well, I was the one that always wanted this store because I thought they had better-looking women out here, believe it or not. So
And he's married,
I
ladies.
am
He
married,
is
sorry.
taken. Sorry, off the market.
Yep, so just kind of a fun little note that way. I always had fun with that.
I'll go there because they're, but 72nd, there's some spicy ladies
there are
over there.
some-
So, I mean,
yes,
you want
there
spicy or good looking?
is.
You get
Yeah, it's both.
It's both. It's
It's
both.
both.
So,
It's
so
a
there
good
you go.
mix.
So that's a cute story.
Yep.
So you ended up here.
Ended up here full-time working. We actually have my brother's son Josh started working for us at the stores, and he's actually over there now. Last year we had a little rough start, or a little rough year. In January of last year, my brother Todd passed away. He had an aortic dissection, which is the tear in the inner lining of the aorta that we did not know about. And he called me up on a Wednesday night, and he'd usually call me up and say, hey, this is wrong, this is out of place, you got a problem, you need to redo this. And he called me up and said, I've got a problem. I'm like, great, what now?
Right.
I said, well, I'm over at my girlfriend's house, on my knees stretched, and I couldn't feel anything from the waist down, couldn't talk for 2 minutes. And after a little convincing, convinced him to go to the hospital, did a CT scan, got checked out, and the doctor flat out said, you have a tear in the inner lining of his aorta. You've got a 10% chance of surviving the night if you don't do emergency open heart surgery right now, and my team is on the way. And he made it through 11 and a half hours of open heart lung bypass surgery, and 3 days later he passed away when they were going in to pull the tubes out, close them up. They realized that he was bleeding out of the left lung, lifted it up, and he burst and bled to death on the table and never came back.
Wow.
The godsend of that is we know where he is. He's in a lot better place than we
Right.
are. He's up with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
That's right.
But
I love it.
little ironic thing with that, too, about a month after that, my mother went to get checked out. She had blood pressure issues like my brother did. And her cardiologist said, you've got blockage, you need an angiogram. Went in for that and could not do it, and said, you're not leaving, you're staying for an emergency double bypass on Monday. Ended up being a triple bypass.
Oh my gosh.
So 2 months after he passed, she was doing that. 2 days later, the cardiologist said, he literally saved your life. That was your widowmaker by him passing.
Wow.
So the Lord has a plan. He has he
Wow.
knows how to do things, and I still question it. Now I'm like, okay, God.
It's hard. It's hard
is
not to
tough.
question God, but you have to have faith.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the faith is the only thing that gets you through every day, and the hurdles and the struggles and the questions. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're going through. I think faith is it's hard. It's
It
hard for
is.
people that don't believe. It's people that do believe, but then you don't know what they believe in.
Yep.
And so the hard part is not crossing their uncomfort zone,
Right.
but letting them see your love
Yep.
and your compassion.
It's got to go through you.
It's got to go
Yep.
through. And if you can live by example and let people see the Lord through you, let that be the witness.
Amen.
You know.
Yeah, it's been the one set of footprints the last year and a
Yeah.
half with
I-
Jesus carrying us down the beach. We
It's-
couldn't do it on our own.
Yeah,
There's no way.
absolutely not. And then your dad's had a whole ordeal.
Yeah,
I mean,
back
this
in
whole
19,
family's
he was
like, oh my
sick.
goodness.
So this year I thought, you know what? I'm going to send mom and dad away on vacation, try and get them away, get a little R&R.
Yeah,
So
why
I sent him
not?
down to
You
Mexico.
worked your butt off. Go have
Yep,
fun.
go have fun, enjoy life, whatever else. And he went down to Mexico and got sick with pneumonia and sepsis. So mom called me up, said dad's not doing well. I'm like, okay. So I flew down to Mexico in January. And from January 6th through the 21st, he was in the hospital down in Mexico, in a foreign country. We don't speak Spanish. Very, very little Spanish.
I speak a little, but I don't think you want to hear
Español,
it.
very little. Yeah, but he was on a respirator, off one, on one. And on the 21st, I finally life flighted him out of Mexico on my own dime.
Wow.
Flew him back, tried to get him here to Omaha, and we could not. He had... you guys had fog and ice here, so he got diverted to Scottsdale, Arizona at the last minute.
Wow.
And he was down there until March 18th when they finally brought him home. But while in Arizona, he respiratory coded. One of the X-ray techs came in and laid him flat and took the oxygen off of him to get X-rays. The nurse came running in and said, "Get him upright. He's coding. He can't breathe without the oxygen." And that day I was flying home to take care of business stuff here with my mom.
Wow.
And the mom called my wife up and said, "Is Trent there?" And she said, "No, he's not." I said, "Well, have him call me immediately when he lands." So when I landed, my wife came running out and said, "You got to call your mom." My first words were, "Is he still alive?" She goes, "Yes, he is, but you need to call." And I called down there and she said, "Your dad coded. This is what happened. The doc says we should do not resuscitate on him. He's going to have brain damage. He'll probably never be the same. He won't come out of it.
Oh my
He'll be a
gosh,
vegetable."
how scary is that?
So I again turned it over to our prayer chain and our prayer list, and God, you
Give it
got
to
this.
God,
You got to
like,
carry
yeah.
us through this again. And everybody started praying for him. And I said to my mom, I said, "I'm coming right back." She said, "You can't. There's no flights. Call me tomorrow morning." Called him the next morning. She said, "You won't believe it. He's sitting on the bed cracking jokes." I'm like, "Cut that darn band off his hand." She
God is
already
good.
have. God is
Oh, all the time.
good. So we're
That's very fortunate.
So we're gonna skip January from here on out.
I like
We
it.
don't
Let's
like
just
it.
yep. And by the time this podcast airs, we'll be in January.
Yep,
So
I know it. Yep. If I'm not around, I'm hiding somewhere.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh, you've had I just tell you, the Lord does. He puts you through these obstacles and the strength. I was talking to somebody today, and somebody that she knows had passed. Was her uncle passed of cancer, and she carries the BRCA2 gene. And I said, she's mad, and I said, it's okay to be mad.
Yep.
But what you have to do is take that fire that's under your feet, and you have to use it for the knowledge that you have,
Right.
and the passion that you have for the madness that you are, and teach other people how to be proactive and how to make better decisions and do things better in your daily life
Right.
that can make a difference. No, we're not going to cure everything.
Nope.
But if we can make a difference, that's what matters, and that's
Yep.
why we're here, because we need to make a difference in our daily, take. So I just think that challenges in life they're tough, though. I mean, everybody's battles are different, for
They
sure.
are. That's why we're in this business. 47 years we've been doing it. We've helped people from anything. Well, my father back in the 70s was diagnosed with a tumor the size of a softball. Beat it 100% through God, through nutrition, through diet. It can be done.
It can be.
I had cold sores, canker sores. I still suffer from cold sores once in a while, but 98% of the time I don't have them.
Yeah.
We've
But when you
helped
do, you
with-
got the cure.
Oh yeah, well yeah. God has the cure that He
God
provided
has
me
the
to help
cure. He gives
everybody.
us the knowledge. He
Yes.
gives us the wisdom. He gives us the things.
Yep.
And that's what I always tell people with my product. I'm like, it's frankincense and myrrh. If it was
Yep.
good enough for Jesus as
Amen.
a gift to the King, why are we not using it?
Yep.
And so, everything in this store, it's natural. It's of the earth. It's of the ground. It's what God gave us to
Amen.
use. And so, why are we not using it?
Yeah.
Why are we being so foolish? Obviously we all I bleach my hair. We make our stupid decisions. But I try to counter it with that,
I'm not perfect. I love ice cream as much as anybody else, and I tease my wife. I'm dying on a dessert, or
Yeah.
grant me ice cream one more time, and I'll be happy.
I'm going to die with
So-
a nice tan and bleached hair and my pink nails. But other than that, everything's going to be good.
Yeah.
So we are, I'd love to talk about New Year's resolution. Because it's New Year's and everybody has, like you said, we were talking earlier before the podcast, they've been through all these holiday issues and depression and they don't feel good and they ate too much. So I'm going to let you just take the realm and encourage people, for depression after the holidays.
Sure.
What's a good thing for that? and then putting on those extra 15, 20 pounds because we ate a lot of turkey and pies, and then we want to get our butts back in gear because before you know it, summer's going to be here.
Yep.
So here we are.
My problem is around the holidays, I would always eat all the junk that all the relatives brought in. Homemade cookies, candies, pastas, you name it, I'd eat it, and then I'd always get sick. So I have to bolster up my immune system around the holidays.
Makes sense.
One of my favorites is a good probiotic. I swear by probiotics. They help keep my gut healthy. They help boost my immune system. They keep me regular. They help all kinds of different things. Another biggie that I do is Sovereign Silver. I've called the company and people say, oh, it's colloidal silver, you're going to turn blue. Well, I call the company and talk to them on it. It's usually people that turn blue that make their own. Sovereign Silver, you'd have to do 7 tablespoons for 77 years to get toxic in it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not real worried about it.
So how would you take this?
It's a liquid. You can do it ears, eyes, nose, mouth, vaginally, any area, any internal, external, however you want to do it. So I will do usually a teaspoon and a half if I'm healthy.
Would you do this
off and
before the
on.
holidays?
You betcha.
Okay.
Yep. Keep that immune system boosted up. But if
Got
I
it.
get sick, that's when I hit the 7 tablespoons for a while.
Okay, so if you're not feeling good, this is like it's
amazing.
an OMG, hurry up and get
Yep.
it in your body, get
Yep.
it rolling.
Yep. The Sinurega is one of my go-tos. There was a lady that came in, or she didn't come in, she called me last year. She said, I think I've got the main sickness that's going around. I'm not going to say it and put praise to it. I'm not. But she said, I think I've got it. What do I do? And I said, what do you have at home? She said, I've got that, and I've got probiotics.
I like this brand.
Yep.
I'm impressed with this brand.
North American Urban Spice
Yep.
is great. But the
Yep.
Sinurega, I said, I have taken it. I've sold it a lot. If I'm sick, I do it every 10 to 15 minutes. She said, well, what's going to happen? I said, you're going to blow your nose a lot? I said, you might have diarrhea or loose stools with the probiotics, but nothing else. And she went into her doc on Monday. And the doc said, why are you here after the test? She said, well, I think I've got what's going around. He said, no, you have no bacteria, no virus, no nothing in the sinuses. It's cleaned out 100%.
Just up your nose.
Yep. It burns a little bit. It does light you up. It's a little spicy, but it works fantastic.
All the things I already am.
Yeah. It works really well.
I don't know if I should try that.
Yep. Sinus breakup is another really good one that has horseradish, spilanthes, elderberry, garlic, some cayenne pepper, oregano, and a lot of other things. That goes in the mouth. Cold.
Under the tongue, or?
I do it underneath the tongue. A lot of other people have to put it in juice or water. That works great for any upper respiratory items or any symptoms going on. First sign of sniffly nose or runny nose, that's one of my first things I hit, along with the Sinurega spray and the Sovereign Silver.
Wow.
Works really well.
How often would you do this? Now, we don't, like, would you do this, and like, or, you know?
If I'm sick, I hit everything.
He's
I
like,
can't
I'm getting
afford
it all.
My
I want
wife
all-
is one, well, she say, I don't want to take everything. Give me maybe 3 items to take. And I'm like, nope, give me the whole thing. I'll pull it all
Gotcha.
in.
So, hey guys, we will take pictures of all this and we will tag it so you can see what we're talking about if you can't see it from the camera. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I need to get in there. And then also you can just call or stop by their stores and say, hey, I saw the podcast and I'm sick. You know, these guys are great. I mean, this is what they love. They're compassionate about it. So don't ever feel like you're a nuisance because
Nope.
you are why they are here. If you don't feel good and you have something that you're trying to get through and you have a child that's having issues, you got to reach out. I mean, you're calling your doctor, and why not call these guys because it's free. And
We
it's
can't
natural.
recommend or prescribe, but we will help you any way we can. We've
Yeah.
been doing this so long, we've dealt with about anything. So I've the biggest thing I say, and I laugh about it all the time, just don't bring me a stool sample like one lady did.
Oh my
That was
gosh,
the
are you
worst.
serious?
She brought me a stool sample.
Holy
Said,
crap,
would
what
you
did you
please?
do?
I'm like, nope, I'm not a physician. You're going to have to check it out with your doctor.
How did you, okay, first of all, you're walking around with your poo.
In a plastic bag. She wanted me to examine it. I said, you know what? I'm really sorry. I can't do that. So that's been the tops.
Was that this location?
Yes, that was this store. Yep.
Wow.
And I still laugh about it. So I'm like, you know what? You can approach me about anything. I've dealt with it. I'll talk about your poop. Just don't bring it in for me to see. So.
Wow. That is
Yep.
crazy.
So after the holidays, you mentioned
Yes.
everything else.
Yes.
So ashwagandha, adrenal support. Those are 2 of my favorites. Ashwagandha is fantastic. Energy, stamina, sex drive. All kinds of different things. Endurance, you name it. Ashwagandha is fantastic for that. It can help you sleep better at night if you take it early in the day. The representative for You're a Farmer or Terry Naturally says she's taking it late, I can't do that. I'm afraid it's going to keep me up.
That's what I was wondering.
Yes.
Because it's got like, is it like a? I mean, I seen it has ginger.
It's an adaptogenic herb, and it works fantastic to help build the adrenals.
Gotcha. So you're like going. So if you're low on energy, that's another thing that you could have for,
Sure can.
Okay.
Yes, and Terry Naturally, Terry Lemeron's the owner of the company. He has some good literature, and we have it here.
Okay.
In his literature, he talks about cravings of coffee, soda, sugar, low back pain, eyes twitching, mind racing, panic attacks, anxiety, heavy fatigue. A lot of times your adrenals are stressed out. They sit right on top of the kidney area.
I don't know if we have enough to sell for me.
It works amazing.
How often would you take something like this?
I usually do 2 in the morning, 2 at mid-afternoon. I find it best to take it before 2:30.
Okay.
After 2:30, the adrenals shift gears, and I'm afraid it'll keep me up if I do it too late.
Okay, so now, are these complementing each other?
They-
or would you
yes.
do like this earlier and this later? Or would you do one or the other? Would you do one or the other?
I give the option to people and let them decide what they want to do. If they come in and say, you know what, I'm just tired, I'm craving a few things, I don't have all the other symptoms, that's when I go to the ashwagandhas.
Okay.
If they say, you know what, I have it all and more, that's when I go to the adrenal complex.
So, asking as a consumer,
Yep.
what's the difference between these three?
Our brand is made by Reliance Vitamins, third-party independent analysis. It's a 500 milligram.
Okay.
For me, it works really, really well. This one is by Terry Naturally. It's an extra strength. It is a 150 milligram, but with the clinically studied everything else, they claim the absorption is 7 times stronger than the other ones. I can take 2 of ours. This one I can't take over 1, or it's just too much for me.
Wow. So
it works really
you
well.
can really tell, and it
I
says it
can
on there,
tell a
7
major
times
difference,
stronger.
yes.
So,
And the
stay away from that.
Adrenaplex, I've taken up to 6 a day when I've really been bad, saying, you know what, I really have to have ice cream 12 times today. Not usually, but if I really feel like I just am just dragging butt and I can't go
Yeah.
on, and I'm
Yeah.
really craving and really having a hard time shutting my mind down, that's when I hit the Adrenaplex.
Interesting. So
So-
this helps you just like
It does.
Chill.
It does. Yep.
chill out, take a second.
Yep. And then for the stubborn belly fat, CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, it works really well, but you have to take a fair amount of it. So they
Yes.
suggest to start with 1-3 times a day and gradually go up. I've had a customer that came in, she started out at 1-3 times a day and noticed a little bit, went to 2-3 times a day, lost probably maybe a dress and a half size, finally went to 3 times a day and lost 2.5 dress sizes.
Awesome.
So-
So it's a gradual thing.
It is gradual.
And then would you, when you finally reach that point, are you at a plateau, or do you continue to take it, or would you switch to something
Depends
else?
on the person. A lot of people, once they hit where they want to be, their target, I tell them, okay, now don't go back out and eat Burger King every
Right.
day
I
and all
mean,
the
yeah.
junk food.
It's everything.
Eat healthy.
Right.
Yes.
It's within reason. I mean.
Correct. Have a good proper diet. A lot
Right.
of people can cut back.
Right. So, New Year's resolution, they want to start to lose weight.
Yep.
And protein drinks and protein shakes.
Yep.
We don't have a couple of them. We'll have to grab some. But what would you suggest? Because the cravings, you got to get rid of those cravings. Like that's the big since you've had all that sugar, that's the cravings.
Adrenals.
Wow.
Or Dr. Robert Young's a hematologist, biochemist from California, owns a PH Miracle Healing Center. He says if you crave sugar, it's a deficiency in the minerals. You're deficient. If it's sugar in general, it's usually chromium. If it's chocolate, it's magnesium usually. And that's Dr. Lyndon Smith's book, Feed Your Body Right, talks about the chocolate and the magnesium. But if it's sugar in general, it's usually the chromium. And this doesn't have it in there, but by supporting the adrenal glands, getting on a good mineral supplement, that can help balance everything out.
That is pretty cool.
And I always tell people, supplements are good, and they say, well, why do you take so much? You get it through your foods. Well, at the turn of the century, 100 grams of spinach had over 250 milligrams of iron. Today, that same 100 grams is less than 2 milligrams of iron.
Right.
So we don't get the nutrition that we
No,
need from
I don't
it.
think that there's
That's
not.
why I do the supplements.
They're processing food so much,
Yep.
and that's the other thing. There's so much stuff that's processed in our foods
Yep.
that I feel like you're seeing cancer in younger people now.
So much more. Well,
sickness in younger people.
let's just go through the Burger King drive-thru. We'll grab it real quick. Well, look at all our preservatives, all the junk,
Right.
everything else. You're getting all the sodium, nothing natural in that,
Right.
nothing good out of that usually. And
Yeah.
it's all microwaved.
Right.
And it's killing us. It really is. So I always tell people 30 to 50% of the diet should be raw. raw fruits, raw vegetables. I try and preach a lot of high pH water to alkalize the body to keep your
You
immune
guys
system
offer
built
water
up.
at both of your
We do,
locations.
yes. We have the
So tell me a little bit about that. Is it come in only? Is it delivery?
come in only. If you
Okay.
bring in your own bottles, you can get reverse osmosis water for 39 cents a gallon, deionized water for 59 cents a gallon. The main difference is the deionized is sent through an additional charcoal bed to pull out more of the impurities, more of the junk. So I always tell people, if you're just going to drink the water, reverse osmosis has more mineral content to it. It's a little bit better for you. But if you're going to alkalize, you're going to add your minerals in, you're going to supercharge the water, whatever else, go to deionized. It's cleaner, it's more pure.
Cool.
And we do sell a lot of water bottles you can refill
I know
here.
it's pretty.
Yes.
It's pretty neat, and they have 2 locations, you guys. So it's 72nd and Blondo and 144th and West Center Road. They got a little construction going on here, so definitely don't not come in. Fight the traffic to get in, because it's another thing that you have to deal with being
We
a
do.
business owner, and
Yep.
it's like it's gonna get customers to like not want to turn in, and get your butts in here because we need your support in your business. The honey, I see
Yep.
honey over there. I want to talk about that a little
Raw
bit.
local honey. It is unpasteurized, has all the minerals. It has some pollen in it. It is so good. It's $6.25 a pound in your jar. If you buy our jars, we have to charge you a little bit more for the jars. But
Right,
bring
which
it
is-
back and we'll
yeah.
refill it. We do fresh ground peanut butter with dry roasted peanuts, nothing else added to it.
You guys, and it's
Um,
amazing.
It's so good.
So good.
Mix the two together.
Before we started the podcast, I was doing this. He didn't see that, so he'll see that later.
Yep.
Well, I just, there's so much knowledge with you, and I definitely want to sit down with you again, and I want to meet over at 72nd as
Yep,
well.
we'd love
There's just so many things, and so as we get questions from people, if there's something that they're wondering about, I definitely want to get some notes and get some pointers from some
Yep.
other people,
Can
and then
easily-
we can answer their questions.
Yeah, can easily call or email anytime.
Yeah.
The phone numbers for 72nd Blondo is 402-393-5812. For 144th and Center, it's 402-333-1300.
Awesome, and we'll definitely type that underneath as well, so you guys can see that, so you can get a pen, and then you can always rewind and pause and all those things. So, but hey, thank you so
Thank you.
much. It was a
Been an
pleasure,
honor.
very much. And again, an amazing sponsor of our podcast, and without our sponsor, we can't do this. And it's the facts. So, but we also want you guys to support them and shop local. Think about what you're putting in your daily regimen. I feel like diet is 90% kitchen. We all say we got to work out, we got to do these things, but I feel like it's in the kitchen.
Yep.
And it's everything. It's your blood pressure, it's your vision, it's everything. It's how you feel. So definitely reconsider what you're putting in your daily regimen, and you don't have to go crazy.
Nope.
But it's baby steps, and you'll slowly get addicted, which is really cool, and it's a good addiction.
Take a look at your vitamins too when you buy them. People say, well, do I have to get them from you? I said, no, get them at a good reputable health food store. Shop around and see. I have one guy brought in a fish oil from one of the big box stores. He said, how's this? I said, oh, good, molecularly distilled, purified fish oil. Flipped it over, said, no. He said, well, why not? I said, propylene glycol. He said, well, what's that? I said, it's antifreeze in your fish oil.
Holy crap.
So really
Read
watch
your
and see what you
ingredients.
buy. Pay attention to it. If you don't know, bring them in. We'll
Right.
talk to you about them and compare and contrast.
Yeah,
So
I
we're
love
here.
it.
We're honest. We
You are.
love what we do. It's God working through us every single day. So,
I love it.
yep.
Well, guys, hang on what? It is amazing pleasure to have you guys listen and tune in, and we will definitely be meeting with Trent again, because we can't fit everything in 30 minutes. There's too much knowledge here. So, and how many years have you done this?
47.
Okay, we cannot do that in 30 minutes. Not going to happen.
Nope.
So, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Hang on what? It is on Hump Day Wednesdays. Make sure you share, save the podcast so you can go back and rewind and remember things that he said, and we'll definitely tag some pictures below so you guys can see what we talked about today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trent.
Yep.
Very much. Appreciate
Yep.
it.